Okay, so what if I told you there's a way to build an app for every single device in the world with just one set of code? I know, it sounds kind of like science fiction, right? But today we're diving into Flutter, the technology that's actually making this happen. And believe me, it is completely changing the game for app development.
I mean, think about it. That little difference isn't just an accident. It's actually the result of this hugely complex and expensive process where companies have to build and maintain completely separate versions of the same app for every single device. That's been the standard for years. But what if there was a better way? And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. I mean, look, on the left, you've got the old way. Separate teams, separate code, one for iPhones, one for Android phones, another for the web. It's just a massive, massive duplication of effort. But then, you look to the right, that's the Flutter way. One team, one project, and one app that just works. Everywhere.
So the magic behind all this has a name. It's called cross-platform development. And the goal? It's simple, but it's incredibly powerful. The whole idea is to create one single master version of your app that you can then just deploy to any device you want, without having to rebuild the thing from scratch every single time.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Write once, run anywhere. This isn't just some catchy marketing phrase, you know? It's a truly revolutionary approach that is changing everything for developers. Just imagine the power of building your app just one time and then watching it come to life perfectly on every single screen you can think of.
So you're probably wondering, how does Flutter actually pull this off? Well, it all starts with one programming language called Dart. You can think of Dart as this universal language that all devices can understand. So developers write all the instructions for the app just once, using Dart. And then Flutter comes in and acts like a perfect translator, creating a beautiful, super high-performance app that runs seamlessly on, well, all of this.
But look, this isn't just some cool technical trick for nerds. No way. This translates into a massive, massive strategic advantage for businesses and developers. We're talking about working faster, cheaper, and just fundamentally smarter than ever before.
And let's get into some hard data, because this is where it gets really interesting. We're talking about saving a minimum of 30% on development time. Think about that. In the crazy fast-moving world of tech, launching even just a few weeks ahead of your competition, that can be the difference between winning the whole market and being left in the dust. And hey, where you save time, you save money. It's that simple. This chart just visualizes it perfectly. Instead of having to pay for 2, 3, maybe even 4 separate specialized teams, a company could now just invest in one single unified Flutter team. The savings in both cost and just sheer complexity, it's enormous. So yeah, the business case is crystal clear. You launch way faster with way less work. You cut your costs because you don't need separate iOS and Android teams. And here's a huge one. Because Flutter is such a popular skill now, you can tap into this giant global pool of developers on places like Upwork and Fiverr. It's really a trifecta of benefits that's just impossible to ignore. All right, but what's the catch? Come on, there's always a catch, right? This is the question everyone asks. Does an app built this way actually perform as well as one that's built from the ground up just for your device? Let's tackle that question head on, because honestly, this is where Flutter absolutely shines.
See, a lot of those older cross-platform apps could feel, well, a little slow, a little laggy. That's because they were basically just a website stuffed inside an app wrapper. It looked like an app, but underneath, it was just a web page. But Flutter apps, they feel incredibly smooth and snappy. And that's because they are not a website in disguise.
And here's the secret. Flutter compiles directly to your device's native code. Basically, it speaks the same language as your phone's processor right from the get-go. It's not translating on the fly, it's already fluent. And what that means is that animations, scrolling, all those little interactions, they're as fast and smooth as possible. It delivers an experience that you literally can't tell apart from a native app.
Okay, so we've established the app feels fast and snappy, but does it look right? I mean, performance is one thing, but making sure the user experience is perfect on every single screen, that's a whole other challenge. The goal is an app that feels perfectly designed whether it's on a tiny phone screen or a massive desktop monitor. And Flutter handles this just beautifully. It uses something called widgets. You can think of them like pre-built building blocks, almost like digital Legos. It gives developers these huge libraries of widgets that already look exactly like Google's or Apple's designs. You combine that with layouts that automatically adjust to any screen size without breaking, and suddenly, developers can build gorgeous, consistent apps at an incredible speed. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But is anyone actually using this for big, important stuff at scale?
The answer is a resounding yes. Let's take a look at the proof that Flutter is absolutely ready for the big leagues.
Yeah, Flutter isn't just for hobby projects. It is the engine behind massive apps from Google itself. We're talking about Google Ads, the app that helps generate billions in revenue, and Google Pay, processing millions of transactions every single day. Look, when a company trusts its core, money-making business to a technology, you know that tech is battle-tested and ready for anything. And it's not just Google, not by a long shot. There's this vibrant, passionate community of over 1 million developers worldwide who've totally embraced Flutter. And a global movement that big means you get incredible support, tons of shared knowledge, and it's basically a guarantee that this platform is going to keep growing and getting better for years to come.
Okay, to bring this all together, let's use a really simple analogy that I think crystallizes the whole concept. It really brings the big picture into perfect focus. So think of the old way of developing apps like being an author. First, you write your entire book for, say, an English-speaking audience. Great. But now, to reach a French audience, you have to manually rewrite the entire thing. And then you have to do it all over again for a Spanish audience, and so on. It's slow, it's expensive, and it's so easy for mistakes to creep in with every new version.
But with Flutter, well, you become a master author. You write your books just once in a single, universal language that everyone, everywhere can instantly understand.
The framework itself acts as this magic translator that instantly and perfectly formats your book for every library in the world, all at the same time. The story, the experience, it stays exactly the same for every single reader, no matter what.
And that brings us to a final, pretty profound thought. When you remove these fundamental barriers to creating things, you just unleash this incredible wave of innovation. So if one idea from one person can instantly reach every screen on the planet, what are we all going to create next?